The Lowestoft Lighthouse is the most easterly lighthouse in the UK. It is owned and run by Trinity House, the official authority for lighthouses in England, Wales, the Channel Islands and Gibraltar. The original lighthouse was built in 1609 to warn ships of the dangerous sandbanks off the coast. It was later moved to its present location in 1676 to help cast its light further out to sea, and was lit with coal fires instead of the original use of candles. Trinity House took over the running of the lighthouse in 1874 and had it rebuilt to its current size and shape. The lighthouse stands at 16 meters tall, meaning it has a range of 23 nautical miles. The lighthouse was fully electrified in 1938 and was fully automated in 1975. Today, the lighthouse is monitored and controlled from the Trinity House Planning Centre in Harwich, Essex. Beside the entrance to the park there is a thatched lodge, built in 1873 in the grounds of the original park, with elaborate chimneys, decorated bargeboards and rustic woodwork. Although the original building was destroyed by fire in 1990, the lodge was rebuilt by the District Council in the original style in 1991. It is the first free public park in Lowestoft, laid out in the style of a formal pleasure ground and opened in 1874. Up until the 1870s, Lowestoft had no free public park, but the Lowestoft Improvement Committee chose a piece of open common land, the site of an 18th century gun battery, on which to create what they described as a symbol of Lowestoft's growing civic pride. The proposal for a park on this land came in 1872 from the chairman of the committee, James Peto, and two of its members, William Youngman and William Ricks Seago, were responsible for turning the idea into a reality. On the eastern boundary stands the Royal Naval Patrol Service War Memorial, erected in 1953 to replace the bandstand, which had been demolished the previous year, and in 1972 3 restored cannons were added beside the memorial. Sparrow's Nest originally formed the grounds and formal gardens to Cliff Cottage, the early 19th century thatched summer residence of Robert Sparrow, a local wealthy landowner from Worlingham Hall. Lowestoft Borough Council bought the house and gardens in 1897 for £7,200. The gardens became a popular venue for concerts, and in 1913 the Borough of Lowestoft commissioned the 1,300-seat Pavilion Theatre in the gardens. The Lowestoft War Memorial Museum is housed in one of the buildings erected by the Royal Navy at the outbreak of the Second World War. In 1939, Cliff Cottage and the park were taken over by the Navy and became known as HMS Europa and the headquarters of the Royal Naval Patrol Service. The museum is dedicated to all of the people of Lowestoft who served during World War I and World War II. It was opened in 1995 to coincide with the 50th anniversary of VE Day on the 8th of May that year. The Lowestoft and East Suffolk Maritime Society was formed in 1958 by a small number of enthusiasts interested in the sea and ships. Prominent amongst the founding members were Engineer Captain E.G. Mallet-Warden and Lieutenant W. Solomon. The latter was responsible for acquiring a substantial part of the collection now on display at the Maritime Museum. In 1968, the Borough Council granted the Society the lease of the cottage in Sparrow's Nest Park to create a permanent maritime museum. In this tiny cottage, formerly the home of a Lowestoft churchwarden and restored in 1828, members converted each of the rooms to feature different aspects of the fishing industry, namely trawling, drift net fishing, wreck and rescue, and tools and equipment used in building and maintaining fishing vessels. By 1977, the cottage was no longer big enough to house all of the exhibits, so the Society decided to raise funds for a building extension. They hosted a variety of fundraising events and had support from local industry, residents, patrons, and the district council. This allowed the Society to expand the museum in early 1978 into the building you see today. In 2019, this green space was transformed into the UK's most easterly park, Ness Park. In the park you can see the drying racks, which were once used by the fishing industry for the nets in the heyday of the herring trade. The decision was made to preserve these pieces of history to help improve access and knowledge of North Lowestoft and its unique maritime heritage. As well as preserving the history of the Ness, the park is also a haven for wildlife, with unique flora and fauna. It also provides a green space for people of all ages to come and spend time in nature, with a play park for children. Ness Point is the most easterly point of the United Kingdom. Every day it is the first part of the UK to be bathed in sunlight, with Lowestoft being the first town to observe the sunrise. On the ground there is a large circular direction marker, nicknamed Euroscope, which shows the direction of various locations in other countries and their respective distances from Ness Point. Ness Point is also home to a wind turbine that stands at 126 meters tall. Nicknamed Gulliver, this turbine once held the record for being the largest onshore wind turbine in Britain. It is also believed that Sir Samuel Morton Peto often came to Ness Point to mull over his plans for the town, which he was largely responsible for the development of in the 1840s and 1850s. It is said that he felt happier knowing that there was nobody further east than he when searching for inspirational ideas. In Peto's day, Ness Point was almost 100 yards further east than it is today.